Today we're making a delicious and super simple one-pot meal, Mediterranean chicken with orzo. Here are the ingredients. Let's make it right now. So I always like to go over the ingredients. It's all about helping you here. When you take these out in the beginning, you get everything prepped, your experience, your cooking experience is going to be infinitely easier than chasing an ingredient around, looking for it in your vegetable drawer in the fridge, digging for it in the closet, etc. Okay, we have 2 pounds of chicken thighs. I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. These are great. They are perfect for so many recipes. If you don't, for some reason, want to use chicken thighs, which are definitely the best, okay, you can use chicken breasts. If you use chicken breasts, do your sear, cook your chicken, chop it, put it off to the side, and mix it in at the end. You can also do a rotisserie chicken like that as well, but use chicken thighs. They're better, okay? And we have 2 pounds, 900 grams roughly. I have 1.5 pounds of cherry tomatoes. These are grape tomatoes, whatever. And I just sliced half of them and the other I left whole. You can leave them all whole if you want to speed up the process too. So that's 680 grams. 1 large onion that is chopped. Okay, it's just a large onion. All right, that's the advantage. It's always better to specify ingredients that way because you're not going to buy the exact amount of onion in the store, and then you're going to have waste. So that's why it's often better to specify, just use a large onion. 6 cloves of garlic that are minced. 1 pound of orzo, or 454 grams. I have 3.5 cups of low sodium or no sodium chicken stock or chicken broth. You can use better than bouillon, reduced sodium chicken base too, and mix up 3.5 cups. 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of honey. All of those ingredients are going to make this delicious sauce, liquid, braising, like cooking liquid for our orzo. And then we're going to put our chicken back, and then right at the end, we're going to mix in 1/2 cup of olives. I'm using gaeta here, but you can use kalamata also. Okay, they're both great olives. You can use any olive you like. Pit them, make sure the pits are removed. I just gave them a rough chop or just tear because I actually had to pit them myself. I should have bought pitted ones. That's going to get mixed in at the end, and give them a rinse with water or even soak them for 15 minutes. That will remove some of the salts. So we have a ton of salt in this dish from all this and 1/2 cup of feta that we're mixing in. Okay, so that gets mixed in. Got about 1/2 cup of parsley that I just rough chopped, and then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So those 4 ingredients get mixed in at the end. This all gets done in one pot. It truly is a one-pot dish, and it's an amazing dish, okay? Everything is prepped already for this recipe, except for the chicken thighs. This is how they came from the store, okay? So they have a lot of fat on them. I'll just clean up 2 of them right now to show you. Besides just getting rid of fat, I've been talking about this lately. The food supply in the United States it's garbage. It's getting, I don't know why, it's gotten worse. This is just the truth, okay? My friend owns a restaurant. He tells me the same thing. They have to do certain things now. When you look at food, things that never happened in the past, like bone fragments, are happening to me. It's not a coincidence. I've had it happen many times in the last few years. So in the pack, sometimes this is all done by machine when they remove the bone. Sometimes it'll just cut through a bone, and then it'll be hanging over the edge. You know, when you think they're boneless, skinless, and then somebody, can break their teeth or whatever. So feel them, make sure that's not the case. And then, the heavy fat like this, you can remove some if you want. You can take the side of your knife and you can just scrape it off like this. Like if you have a really sharp knife, it'll just pull it all off, okay? Just like that without even cutting it. And that'll allow you to save a little bit more chicken. Some of the other parts, you can just kind of just cut away. Now, I'm not saying go in and get rid of all of it because you don't have to. What I will say you should do now is just cut these large ones in half, just into 2 pieces, all right? So here's another piece of that fat. If you just take your knife like this and it'll kind of just pull off. If it doesn't, you just cut it, okay? But there's a lot of it there. Some brands it'll be removed, but most of the time now I feel like they're selling it with it, so they can sell you more weight. Same thing here, just cut this in half. Now, if you want little pieces in here, you can cut these all into little pieces as well. It doesn't make a difference for this dish. I think it's nice just to have a couple big pieces, so each person, this is going to serve 4 to 6. Each person will get a few nice pieces of chicken in their dish. All right, we'll do the rest. Okay, so we're just going to sear this chicken up. I'm going to season in a second. I'm using this is a hard anodized 4-quart pan. This is gonna work perfect for the one pot nature of this, all right? So you can use a stainless if you want, but I find that with a stainless, whatever, cast iron, you know, you might get some sticking with your orzo, maybe more than a little bit, maybe a lot. About medium heat, use olive oil or extra virgin olive oil. When you're using a pan like this, you don't have to heat it up like you do with a stainless pan. Because if you don't do it with a stainless, it'll start sticking. Everything will stick. Okay, while that's going on, while it's heating up, let's just season these up with salt and pepper. Now to get a better sear, just take paper towels and dry the chicken off really well. And that's why you want to do this kind of like close to when you're searing it, because if you do this like an hour in advance, your chicken's going to be all wet, and then when you put it in the pan, it's just going to boil instead of get any color. Especially if you're using a pan like this, you'll get, you know, stainless, you'd get a little bit better color on it. I'm seasoning liberally with salt and pepper on both sides. Okay, use your hand that's touching the chicken, flip it all over. One more pat on this side, our non-salt and peppered side. Okay, and then salt again. Okay, I'm using Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. And for 2 pounds of chicken here, I probably used about 2 teaspoons to 3 teaspoons of that salt. Once your oil is shimmering, like it is, put your chicken down. Okay, and you can work in batches if you can't fit it all. Chicken, put it away from you so the oil goes to the person who's over here, not to the person that's over here. All right, so like if I go like this and I push it towards me, like in an aggressive manner, then the oil would splash on me.
Are you trying to splash me with the oil?
No, I was just, you're very far away. If you got splashed from that distance, that means I would be like, you know, like throwing chicken in the pan. You know what? I think we can fit them. It's not ideal, but it'll work. All right, I got to use these horrible tongs again because you're not supposed to use metal on this. Little in there. It's a little tight, but I'm still going to get color on it. I rotated the pan a couple times. Splattering all over the place because I'm here. You'll be on your regular stove, which you should be. So, but I use one of these splash guards. All right, so let's turn this chicken over. Okay, that's nice color. It's not great. I mean, because we're cooking in this type of pan. All right, if we use a stainless, we would have more color. But oh, that one looks good. That one looks really good. But we'll take it. So I don't want that orzo to stick. It's been, so about 5 minutes on the first side, about 3 to 4 on the second side. It will be different on you, how high you had your heat, what type of pan you used, all that stuff, okay? It's just a general rule. Don't cook till time, cook to how it looks, all right? You want it to look nice and golden brown like that. Since I'm gonna take it out, I lowered the heat a little bit. I'm a little bit below medium here. Okay, and that's the other side. We'll just pop these out onto a plate. Listen, your thighs, you really can't overcook your thighs, your chicken thighs. But if you, for some reason, you like undercooked them here, even though you have nice color, don't worry about it because they're gonna go in the pot with everything and they're gonna cook a lot more. All right, so we got beautiful chicken fat at the bottom here with all the olive oil. I'm getting splashed. See, that's so nice, so nice. All right, so here's my onions. That's one large onion that I diced, chopped, whatever. This is tented with foil, the chicken. So now let's cook these for a few minutes to get them nice and soft. Okay, put a little salt on there, just a sprinkle of salt to help release their water. But go easy with the salt, everything. You're putting a lot of salty ingredients in there, the feta and the olives. So I'm gonna let these get a little bit more. This is what they look like after about 3 minutes. So this is like truly a one-pot dish. This is like a one-pot meal. If you like these, that's great. If you like full meal videos, we also do full meal videos on our Patreon. So there is 3 levels there, and each level gets us something a little bit different. I've been talking about the cookbook a little bit, but now I'll talk about it more. It is 100% coming out by October, okay? The highest level on Patreon, those people are gonna get a free signed copy. All right, so that's something that's like really nice. And those highest level people are the ones that get their names put at the end of each video here. So listen, that garlic was in there for a second, maybe about a minute to get nice and fragrant. And one thing I didn't show you in the beginning, you can make this optional if you like, but I want to put hot red pepper flakes in here. Okay, so I'm doing about that much, about a teaspoon. All right, that's looking really nice. Okay, we're good. If you had wine, you would put wine in it now, but we don't. So we're gonna add all our tomatoes. Okay, let's just get them in there. Get them covered with the oil. You can raise that heat a little bit here. I'm just gonna cook them until they start like releasing some of their liquid, a little bit of bursting action, all right? You know, it's been like 2 minutes. They're starting to release a little bit of their liquid, okay? But you can let it go another minute. Opening my orzo. It's like fancy orzo that Tara got. This orzo's good. Like, I like the orzo that is bigger. Like, DeCecco's orzo, it's very small, and it doesn't look good in pictures, so I always use... I actually normally use Barilla, which is not as good. Barilla is not as good as DeCecco ever for any shape, but it looks good. Anyway, this one though she got from somewhere else is really nice. All right, so we're gonna put it in. That's 1 pound or 454 grams. All right, so we're just gonna kind of mix this around, get it all incorporated with the oil, and we're gonna toast this orzo for a couple minutes. Do you have to do this? No, you really don't. Okay, you could just add all your liquid and everything in at this point. And yeah, I mean, say like you don't want to use orzo here and you want to use rice, just add rice, okay? Rice, you know, will be similar liquid ratio. It's typically be 2 to 1, depending on, you know, what variety of rice you're using. Some of the more hearty rices might need a little bit more liquid than that ratio. Okay, so that's good. You can add your 3.5 cups of chicken stock. Okay, it's low sodium, or no sodium, I think. I'm not sure. This is 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. Use Greek oregano. Here's the honey. And then bring this to a boil. Okay, so that's boiling. Turn the heat to low now, okay? Very low, almost as low as your thing will go. This thing it doesn't have the most control. That's why if you're on a regular stove, it'll be better. Let's get the chicken back in here. We're gonna just nestle it in there, okay? Doesn't really matter, you could just kind of dump it. See all the juices from the chicken? Make sure you pour all those in there. But what nestle, I mean, just keep all the chicken in a little bit different spots, okay? Cover it with a tight-fitting lid. If you don't have a tight-fitting lid, just put foil on top of it first, then put your lid that is close to able to fit, which is what I do often when I'm using like an odd-sized pan. But this lid like came with this. It's gonna take 12 to 15 minutes, all right? Just cook it until your orzo is tender and that most of the liquid is evaporated. Don't worry if all the liquid doesn't have to evaporate, okay? When you take it off the heat and you're waiting for your family, everything's gonna keep drying out, so don't worry about that. All right, this is real simple. I mean, it's like one of the simplest dishes I've made, you know, in a long time. I mean, one would say that everything I make is simple. Try to do that. I don't wanna make things complicated for you. I mean, that's not what this show is about at all. Okay, so that's been exactly 12 minutes. Let's just check it out. That's what we have right now, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's perfect. So just gotta make sure the orzo's cooked enough. If it's not for some reason, you just add more liquid, throw the cover back on, but I could tell already it's nice and plump. Actually, maybe a couple more minutes, but it's fine.
This is similar to the shrimp and orzo
Yes, it is.
dish we have, right?
I'm just gonna cover it again. We don't need more liquid. There's enough in there. I don't want to say it's exact because then people aren't gonna want to make it. But it definitely has similar flavors. I mean, ultimately, all cooking is the same. That's kind of the thing. Like, you can only do so many variations. That's why when people get online, they're like, this person stole this person's recipe. It's like, that person who you think they stole it from somebody else 30 years ago. That's another 2 minutes. We should be good there. All right, I'm gonna turn that heat off. This is 2 tablespoons roughly of lemon juice. For some reason, like, you don't like it, back off it initially. But it's nice to have like that zing in there. And we didn't use any wine in this. We use a lot of wine in our recipes. We didn't use any today.
Tomatoes have a good amount of acidity.
Yeah, the tomatoes and the feta also has an acidic. It's like an acidic cheese like bite to it.
Yeah.
But that's what you want, like the orzo to be like really nice and creamy like that. Okay, we could pull this off the heat now. You know, if you feel like it's a little dried out, just add a little bit more stock in there. But I find with the tomatoes, like the burst of the tomatoes and everything, it's enough. I'm gonna give it a taste here. I'm not gonna need salt because we're putting all that feta in, but the flavor's perfect. I mean, I know it's perfect. I just made it a week ago. If it wasn't perfect, then I would have adjusted the recipe for this. We're going to taste this now. The taste tester's not gonna be here for like 2 hours, so, you know. He will be tasting it when it's not perfectly fresh.
Well, I think I should get to taste it.
You want to taste it? Okay.
Yeah.
You're taste tester number 2, but really you're kind of taste tester number 1.
I am.
You were tasting the food way before James was alive.
Exactly.
How was I as a cook before James came on the scene?
You were always a great cook. That's
Yeah.
why. That's kind of why I married you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You know.
Yeah. I knew there was something.
Okay, so I don't think I need the knife because I remember when you made this last week that
Yeah.
the chicken was just like super tender. So I
Yeah.
don't even think I need it, right? The chicken's very tender, obviously, because I cut it with my fork.
Yeah.
Both the sliced tomatoes and the whole tomatoes are great, but when you get the whole tomato, it kind of like bursts in your
Yeah.
mouth and is like a nice textural element. The saltiness of the olives and the feta is really good because it's contrasted with the freshness of the parsley. And the orzo is delicious because it's creamy and
I love that orzo.
perfectly cooked.
That bigger orzo like that brand.
Yeah. I mean, this is delicious, but the thing that I like the most about this dish as the head cleanup person
Oh yeah. Yeah.
is that it's in one pot
Yep.
and that's it. And it also reheats really well the next day.
Yeah,
for
because
lunch.
as chicken thighs.
I think you definitely need to make this.
Yep.
It's a winner.
Yeah. Make it, and if it dries out a little bit, like here, you just need to add a little bit of liquid to it. Or if you cut all your tomatoes up initially, you're gonna have more wetness in there, okay? But I do agree with Tara, I like keeping them whole. I like that textural element. You don't want chicken, you could do this with some pieces of pork. You could do it with shrimp, obviously. You can really mix it up here.
Yeah, definitely. And if you do make it, leave us a comment on our website.
Yes, leave us a comment on the website for this one or for any recipe you made. There are basically double the amount of recipes on our website that there are YouTube videos. There's 300 YouTube videos, there's about 600 recipes. So it will always be that relationship. It takes a lot more work to make a video than it does to just shoot photos and put a recipe on the site.
Yeah, plus there's recipes on our website that you don't need to make a video for. Like you don't need to make a video for our creamy balsamic vinaigrette. Like that would be a 20-second video.
Yeah, there will be no dressing videos on this channel. If you're not subscribed, please sign up, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And also hit the notification. You got to hit it on both or you won't get notified when we put out a new video. YouTube goes off of that. Like if they see the people who are notified are going to the video right away, then they'll show it to more people.
Yeah.
And that helps us. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. And thanks for being taste tester the original taste tester, but to them, taste tester number 2 today.
That's me. Yep.
Yep. We'll see you next time.